MMA today for tomorrow. What's going on? Uh,
What's up?
big. Last weekend there was the 8-hour marathon in Japan that people in North America and other parts of the world, if you survive that fucking, I don't. It's not even a disaster. It's like you're if you're over there and you're staying up until like 5, 6 in the morning to watch that, you are a champion.
No shame. No shame. I fell asleep during the third intermission. Second intermission. Second intermission.
Luckily for me, I'm on this side of the world, so it's like it starts at 2 o'clock, and I'm sitting here watching it from 2 all the way to 10 o'clock at night. And those damn intermissions, man, they need to stop having that shit. Hey, don't you think Rizin should have more cards instead of having these fucking 8-hour marathons?
I would think it would definitely benefit them, but they seem to like this pay-per-view type model. Um, I don't know. The intermissions don't make sense to me in the first place. And then I also, you know what else I didn't like about the pacing? Like I like kickboxing and everything, but to have those three kickboxing fights, and they were great fights. Like I was into them. I don't know if you liked them, but it's just like get to the fucking MMA already. Like come on, like we signed up for MMA, like whatever like it is a grappling match, whatever. But like three kickboxing fights back to back to back, at least like spread them out. Not just have them like open up the card like that. I thought that just kind of threw off the pacing to me, at least.
I think that they just threw it in there just because maybe somebody came up with the idea of putting some kickboxing matches on the card, and
Fucking CEOs, man.
yeah, and maybe they were like, man, we'll just put it in the beginning and just get rid of it, like we'll do it one time. And most likely, most people when they watch MMA show, they really don't, like you said, they really don't want to watch kickboxing or anything else. Like even having the grappling shit. Man, that grappling shit was fucking like you could have took a nap and then woke up and
Yeah.
exactly like you're lucky. That was a waste of my fucking life.
But once it got to the MMA, I was fucking stoked because there was like this tournament that they have going on. There was some really dope girl fights. Yamamoto had that wardrobe malfunction and got upset. I think she was a pretty big favorite. She got
Hey,
upset.
what about the fucking the commentator, the one that came late? He can't even fucking show up on time and shit for the what you have one job, show up on fucking time, and he's late to the show. And then when he gets to the show, he gets there like right when I think the first MMA fight starts with Yamamoto and Irene Rivera, right?
Yeah.
And when Yamamoto was entering the cage or entering the ring, he's all talking about like, oh yeah, she's a very good-looking woman, and you know about women, they don't age very well. Like
Yeah.
where the fuck does that come from, man? Like, why would you say some shit like that, like about the way someone looks? If you're gonna give them a compliment, but that's like a backhanded compliment, right?
Blame it on the jet lag, man. I don't know on that one. Plus, they had Burchak out there. They left him out to dry. I mean, I think it's his first time fucking commentating, and he's like out there all by himself, like having to commentate on these fights. And like, I can't say that I feel bad for him, but like I mean, he was really just left out to dry. I mean,
He
what
did a good job, though. I thought he did the best job out of any of the commentators in the past.
all things considered, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
we're talking like relatively speaking. Um, and then I was mad because my girl Alyssa Garcia lost. I thought she was gonna be like the dark horse in this tournament here.
Yeah,
Uh,
but when she got them hands thrown on her and those leg kicks to the inside thigh, yeah, she felt the pain and shit. And but you know what though? At the end of the fight, she fucking went for it, man. Like you gotta
she
give her
did.
credit.
Yeah, I interviewed her before an event out here in California and talked to her trainer, coach, whatever, Josh Barnett. And like I think she has a good future. She's fighting like some really tough girls like really early in her career. So I don't know. I think it's just kind of trial by fire thing where they're just making her fight these super tough girls, and she's really young and just kind of coming up. Um, and then Asakura, I mean, dominant, but also not very exciting whatsoever.
Yeah, like, when you have a tournament, one thing that's kind of a negative aspect of tournaments is like the fighters go in there, and you can't really blame them, is to
True.
go in there and win because you got to move on. You know what I mean? You can't go in there and go for broke because you know you're gonna have to fight in what, in 2 months or whatever. And
Yeah.
if you
I mean,
fucking
Crow
break your
Cups.
arm, or something happens, then you can't, even if you win, you can't even move on in the tournament. So it's kind of you can't really blame some of these girls for not going full blast. Uh, you know, but she did dominate that girl. That girl did not have any single piece of, defensive wrestling at all, man. She just was on her back the whole time. But like you
Yeah.
said, it was kind of a snore fest. But hey, Yamamoto, going back to Yamamoto, man, like she's been submitted every single time she's lost. Don't you think when you train, you're gonna train to like your weaknesses and get out of fucking submission, especially if you're a wrestler and you put people on their back? Because
Yeah.
she puts everybody on their back. She has no problem with that. It's just that when she gets there, she just gets armbarred.
I don't. I think there's certain fighters I've seen, especially with the women's divisions too. I've seen these some of these girls. They just, I don't know. They never figure out the submission defense part. Like Nick Dolly, and just like a couple other fighters, like immediately come to my mind when I think of like fighters who just never developed any kind of submission defense.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why that is. I really don't.
Well, it's stubborn. Like they don't want to, practice. If there's certain fighters, they don't want to do what they're weak at. They want to just focus on what they're strong at, right? So, and they just become, like I guess they don't become diverse enough for mixed martial arts. It's mixed martial arts. It's not fucking wrestling. It's not fucking just stand up and striking. Because eventually you're gonna run into somebody that's gonna be as good as you, and then probably better on the ground or something like that. So you gotta
Yeah.
do it, man.
I think it's also just training. People who get into the game late. I see that a lot too. Like Cub Swanson has an older brother. I don't know if you ever heard of him,
Yeah.
but and he fights like regional around here, like Palm Springs. Just like California regional type stuff. And it's like he got into MMA like late in the game. He's older. He's like significantly older than Cub, and he doesn't have like any submission defense like whatsoever. It's just like striking.
Oh, he's like just a sprawling brawl.
Yeah, but it's like I feel like you see that more with the people getting in the game late, where you know they just don't have that jujitsu base. Because I've like rolled a little bit. And I fucking hate jujitsu. It's so tough, man. Like I really just don't, and I could see why people don't want to do it or don't want to learn it, because it's definitely one of the harder things, at least for me. Like I'd rather get punched in the face than grapple on the ground for an hour.
Well, you're opposite for me. I'd rather get grapple on the ground for an hour than get punched in the face.
I don't know. Everybody's different, I guess.
Yeah, cause like I like jujitsu. I like no gi. I've done it, but it's just like there's too much risk of injury. Like if you're not a fighter, like I'm not a fighter. Like if I'm gonna train something, I'm not gonna train something so I'm gonna get injured all the time, or like
Yeah.
because I don't know what I'm doing and I'm just fucking scrambling, and then when you scramble, shit happens and you just tweak something. So like with the gi, I like the gi. You can slow it down. It's less chance of injury, in my opinion. And if you get submitted, you get submitted. Just start over again, so it's all right. But punching in the face is like ding, 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 ding. There's no like tapping and punching in the face, right?
I, I would prefer it. I get what you're saying, and like, but if you are a fighter, I think you should just be doing no gi, because like I don't understand, why would you train with something that you're not going to have when it comes time to fight night, you know?
Oh, definitely. That's for a fighter, of course. You're
Yeah,
right.
yeah. Different circumstances, obviously, between you and like professional fighters, But I'm a big believer in like if you're gonna be a fucking fighter, do the like just throw away the gi, like just you know focus on what you're gonna be using inside of the cage.
Yeah, like I don't understand some of these guys that come out and say like, "Oh yeah, the gi, you got to do the gi because the gi is going to help you with your no gi and then your no gi is going to get better and then your no gi is going to get better and help you with your MMA." I don't believe that at all. I don't what is going to help you? And I train in the gi like at least twice a week. And you when you take that gi off, whole nother world, man. Whole nother world. Like wrestling comes into huge like huge wrestling becomes huge when you get the no gi, you know what I mean, when you're in no gi. So I don't know, people need to start watching that Eddie Bravo and then go watch the fucking like the Abu Dhabi and see the huge fucking difference, right?
For sure, for sure.
But you know what, the fucking like the front runner of this girls tournament, man, is Reina, man. You can't,
Well,
that girl is just a
yeah,
bad motherfucker, right?
yeah, obviously, yeah.
She's a superstar, man. She's a superstar in the making, and she's already had like I think more than 30 shoot boxing fights.
Yeah, I mean, she's a star, and Rizin knows it. They matched a favorable matchup for her. To be honest, Andy Nugent is like it's pretty trash. To be honest.
Then how did
Uh,
she become the champion though over there at King of the Cage?
because King of the Cage is just not a good. I don't. I mean, if we're talking quality of like opponents, it's just not.
Are you
It's
talking
not
about just like in women's divisions?
in any
Any
divisions.
divisions?
Like, well, like the regional, like the North American regional ones.
Yeah, yeah.
It would be like LFA, CES, and then like all the way down here you got King of the Cage.
But King of the Cage, haven't they been around for a while? And they did have.
They have been, but these other promotions have just taken over, man. Like King of the Cage now is really like living off of the name that they built back in the day, and also just kind of quality over quantity, or quantity over quality, where they just have events all over the place, and they're just some of them aren't even like they're just kind of like satellites almost, like it's not even like them running it, it's just like, oh, you want to throw an event, like slap our name on it and we'll like help out or whatever. So they're just kind of all over the place now.
So the matchups for like the New Year's Eve card, I think the best matchup would be between the Brazilian Maria Oliveira because she showed that she could stand and bang with Reina. That would be the best.
Yeah,
The next round, they should just throw that
fireworks.
together and put the two grapplers together, or not even two grapplers. Even Irene Rivera, she's a striker, but she showed that rubber guard in that
Yeah,
fight against Yamamoto, so she knows how to go to the ground and fight off her back. So versus Asakura, that would be an interesting fight if they threw
I like
those
it.
together.
I
And
like it.
then, and you know what they want? They want Reina versus Asakura.
Yeah, for sure. Well, of
They want
course.
all Japanese. They don't,
Yeah.
like if you're a promotion in Japan, it's like a promotion in the US or a promotion in fucking Russia. Who do you really want to be at the top?
Well, also they want to have Reina, up there.
I think she's so much above, the other girls that she's just gonna run away with it, to be honest.
Yeah, I totally agree with you.
And she doesn't even have that many fights either in
Like
MMA.
MMA fights,
Yeah.
yeah.
But I
Um,
like Asakura though. I think that she is developing more than uh she hasn't reached her potential. Asakura. She's only
yeah,
20 years old.
super young, super young. It's just yeah, and plus her style is going to be hard to combat. Like, what is Reina going to do if she's just going to, take her to the mat? I mean, how is she going to be able to deal with that? I think that's, yeah, definitely an intriguing matchup if we get there.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, like right now at the end of the year, if they fought, I would take Reina.
Yeah, yeah.
There's no doubt. Now you got the bracket B of the bantamweight tournament, right? And man, Isha Watari, man, he almost lost. Did you check that
I mean,
online? Did you check the replay?
I didn't get a chance to see like any of these. I saw the highlight of Kawajiri oh god.
Kawajiri?
Yeah, getting knocked out. And that was about it.
Yeah, Kawajiri is done. This
He's
is
been
his last. I think Rizin's not gonna let him fight again. He's just
you
been
know,
getting fucked up.
I also saw um where Tension's fight.
Yeah, Tenjin, that dude's a bad motherfucker. But this dude, Yamamoto Fujita, he gave him a good fight, man. He went out there and fucking took Tenjin's best shot and got right back up.
And that was MMA debut too. Shit.
Yeah. Well, Tenshin and Reina is like they're new stars. Tenshin, I think he's only like 18 years old.
Yeah, yeah,
Reina's maybe 23. So they got many, many years of building these fighters up.
for sure. You got some good cornerstones. Plus, they got Horiguchi. I don't know if you saw that one dude go into the crowd.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, yeah.
he
Uh,
told he
Cape,
told kids what was that, his little brother or his what, who was that?
Yamamoto.
Yeah, but it was Kid Yamamoto's. It was a relative of his. I just don't know exactly. Was it his little brother?
I don't know. Oh,
Well,
maybe it was his nephew.
I think it was his nephew because he said because the guy said your mom just got knocked out or something and you're next, and then he did knock him out, and then he went into the crowd and went all crazy, and then he started John at Horiguchi too. That was I that was pretty cool. I thought that was cool because I was like I like shit talkers, and that dude was just like right in Horiguchi. Obviously, Horiguchi would probably fucking destroy him, but it was just fun to see.
Well, these guys, a lot of these guys, we like most people don't know who they are, but they do have good records from wherever they competed. Like if it's in France or in like what's the other guy from Portugal or whatever, they are deadly, competitors. But the Yamamotos, like they're living off Kid Yamamoto's name basically because that dude didn't have no chance against Cape. Cape just went in there, was playing
Blast,
with him. Yeah,
yeah,
just it was
blast.
over.
I like the ref cam. The ref cam of the TKO was dope though. Like that.
What
Uh,
about the Sakuraba and Shamrock?
I didn't get a.
Yeah,
I didn't
don't watch that shit.
don't watch that.
Don't watch
Is
that.
it really that
You
bad?
waste your life. You're
I
wasting.
never understood the appeal of Frank. I've never been, Frank Shamrock. I've just never got it. I don't know.
Me either. Like French Shamrock, yeah, he's won titles, and I respect what he's done for the. But how do you have a nickname legend?
True. Like,
Like,
what is this? A Jet Li movie?
yeah, it's like your nickname is greatest. Like, oh, Anderson, the greatest Silva. It's like that. It's like, come on, you can't do better than that. Come on, motherfucker.
Unoriginal motherfucker.
Yeah. So now it's gonna be interesting to see what happens in the tournaments though. I think the tournaments are very interesting, and women's MMA in Asia is blowing up, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Right now. It's
Well,
like building. You got King Reina,
yeah.
considered the Ronda Rousey of Japan, but
Mhm.
I don't know. She seems like she doesn't even want to fight from what I saw at Rizin last weekend.
She's always got that scowl. She's got
Yeah.
that
She gives
like
that look like she's gonna
dismissive.
like
I
rip
guess she's
your
kind of
like
like
ears
Ronda
off.
Rousey in that way, huh?
Yeah, she's gonna rip your ears off or some shit. But now, leading to the women's MMA blowing up in Asia, you got just recently announced you got Road FC putting together a title fight, right, with the champion, the atomweight champion, Seohee Ham, against Jin Yu, or is it Jin Yu or Jin Ye Frey, right? Who has beaten some legit competition in Invicta
They
and
both
fought for
they
the
both
title.
have. Yeah, definitely.
Who do you think has the edge in this fight, though?
Uh, I would give it to Frey. Me
Why,
personally.
why would you go with Frey?
Um, I couldn't give you a solid answer right now.
Yeah.
But it's just like when I first heard of this fight, that's immediately who I went to.
Did you know both of them are Korean?
I kind of figured, but I wasn't sure.
Yeah, I didn't even know Jin Yu Frey was Korean until like yesterday or something. And then she mentioned it or whatever. But yeah, I think this is a good fight. This is a huge fight for Road FC. It's gonna bring
Oh,
a lot of eyes,
sure.
into Road FC because Soye Ham, she just beat the Jeep Jules champion, like dominated her, like easy work, easy win for her to get the title. Now she's facing Road is not giving her any, easy outs. You know what I mean? They're not doing the Angela Lee. You know what I mean?
You know what? I might have totally confused. I think there's multiple Jin Yus or Jin Yis.
Really?
Yeah, because I was looking at a record earlier
Yeah.
and it was the wrong girl.
Oh, this like Jin Yu Frey, she got the karate body for real. Like she's all cut up.
Yeah. I'm remembering now. I think I was looking at something and got me all messed up. Anyway, like I mean for Road FC, I mean this is a coup because I mean you got I mean like some sites have like attempted to do like world rankings, and I don't know where you would rank both of them, but they would definitely be pretty high up, especially at 105. You know,
Well, Soye Ham, she's ranked number 1 at atomweight in the world for a few
through
sites.
through which ranker?
Let me see.
Because I mean, I believe, I mean, she probably should be. I'm just asking.
Oh, WMMA rankings
Okay, yeah, that's legit. Yeah, for
and
sure.
MMA Rising. Like
I
both
think we
those
talked about
sites.
this.
Yeah.
We talked about this a little last time.
Yeah.
Like, the fact that a lot of the big atom weight girls are in Combate, which is just kind of weird because they're a smaller promotion. I feel
Yeah.
like there's just like a hole right now because obviously UFC doesn't have atom weight, Bellator doesn't have atom weight, nobody has it, So these girls are just kind of like either forced to move up to 115 or fight in promotions outside of where they're at.
Yeah, in these rankings, Jinyu Frey is ranked number 2 on both sites, right
Yeah,
behind. So it is a bigger fight than I thought because it is the world ranking number 1 and 2 against each other for the title. So it should get a lot more, a lot more attraction. To be honest with you, it should.
it should.
Yeah, I'll be there live. I'll do that. I'm
Dope,
there
dope.
live, man. I'm gonna be there. It's gonna probably be at the Hilton like convention center, which is a nice little tight spot
You
where
guys got the Hilton?
yeah,
Shit.
I think they're gonna have it at the Hilton, but maybe they might have to at the big stadium. Who knows? But they're doing a Road FC 45 XX.
XX?
XX
Does that
is
like
not
X
porn.
rated? Oh,
No,
okay.
not porn.
I'm like wondering what's going on here.
XX is like the chromosome for women, right? So XX is standing for like an all women's card.
Ah, yeah, I totally failed biology, dude. I don't
Me either.
know.
I didn't even know. At first, when it came out, I was like, "What's XX?" It sounds like some nasty shit, right? But
There's not another X because then we know for sure
yeah, for
something's gonna
sure.
pop
And
off.
it'll be weird to see like these girls that are number 1 and 2 in the world involved in some shit like that. You know what I mean? But yeah, I'll be there in December 23rd, right before Christmas. So December is
Yep.
going to be pretty crazy for the women. You got December 23rd, Road FC title fight, Atomweight Championship. Then you got December 29th and the 31st at Rizin in Japan for the Super Atomweight tournament and the
And
Champions League tournament.
earlier that month, you
Mhm.
have the Ultimate Fighter finale,
Yeah.
and you have Invicta is apparently gonna run an event that's either parallel to that or the night before or something. So there's gonna be a ton of women's MMA in the month of December.
I love it, man. I love it. I love
I
the
think it's
women.
an odd move by Invicta. I don't understand some of the recent stuff. Like
Japan girl?
running. Well, yeah, that, but also just running an event up against the UFC. I'm not sure if they're trying to like distance themselves from them, because I mean, they honestly their divisions have been like decimated. I mean, like most of their talent has gone to the UFC at this point, besides featherweight, because nobody, they don't even want UFC doesn't even want the featherweights, but like all the other divisions are just, I mean, gone.
Yeah, Avengers in the UFC now, and she was a champion. Megan Anderson was a champion. She's in the UFC now. You know, like all the
All
all
those
the all the
125.
talent is just like they're. I think that's. I don't know if they're trying to distance themselves because they're still on Fight Pass, and
Yeah.
Pancrase is on Fight Pass, and I think that's how they kind of made a connection with each other and decided to
What
work
is
with each
what
other.
is the details for that deal?
The details for that deal is that Pancrase and Invicta are gonna kind of like share fighters. So they'll like Pancrase will send some of their fighters to Invicta events, and they'll fight against the Invicta girls, and the Invicta girls will go to Pancrase events and
Huh.
fight in Japan. They just recently signed like probably one of the best Muay Thai fighters. She's like multiple world champion. I think she's only like 20 years old. Luma. Her name is Luma in from Thailand. I
Huh.
think she's like maybe one of the first Thai girls to be signed by Invicta, and she would be perfect to go fight in Pancrase. She's already over here in Asia,
Yeah.
so she just flies to Japan. She represents Invicta and does the damn thing and fights against some Japanese girls. So I think they're gonna you know that girl Chami Jun. Do you know her? She's the South Korean girl. She just fought on the Japan card, but she lost to Shuri Kondo.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
She was originally signed by Invicta,
Yeah.
and then she was gonna debut for Invicta, but then the UFC offered her a contract that late replacement fight in New Zealand, and she lost over there against JJ Aldrich. I think that's her name. But she would be also good to like, cause she lost twice in a row, so she might get cut. Invicta could pick her up, have her fight in Japan and Pancrase too. There's a lot of options that
Her Muay Thai is like one of the better that I've seen though,
mhm.
from from that weight class at least. Yeah, she did well against Aldrich. Obviously, she lost, but I
But
mean,
she's not afraid though. That's one key factor I think of her is that she'll get hit and she just pushes forward and forward and forward and she doesn't give a shit. And hey, when she lost in Japan, she like you could see the camera and when they read the decision, she was like you could see her and she's like Shiba, which Shiba is like in Korean it is like motherfucker, you know what I mean? Like that's what she said, like right into the camera, when she heard their decision. So a lot of the Korean sites they were picking that up, like, she said Shiba like on the broadcast. It was funny. Because Koreans are like conservative and shit. They don't want people
oh, like
cussing.
that's bad. Like, oh, she cussed.
Yeah,
Oh,
but she don't care. She's like that type. She don't care. But yeah,
damn.
it's the women's MMA is blowing up in Asia, man. Like Invicta, like you said, Invicta is like getting decimated, so they're kind of like seeing what they can do to build up their promotion a little bit more.
Yeah, I guess that's just what they're doing. Is some of their moves come off as odd, and plus, UFC Fight Pass is hurting.
Mhm.
Like they've been cutting promotions already. So I don't know the whole situation, but it just things seem kind of murky right now.
Yeah,
For
is UFC Fight Pass hurting? Like, is that what they're saying?
Well, it's just the UFC is hurting, period,
Yeah,
with being able to make these payments to pay off loan. They have loans on loans. So it's like they don't have the money to throw around to like pay like Combate or like other places to, keep them on UFC Fight Pass. That's why you see stuff like like either disappearing, like Fight Nights Global, or just or what used to be EFN is now FNG. But there's been a lot of shuffling around. We'll have to see. Um, do you watch NBA at all?
yeah, a little bit when I can catch it over here, because the time differences kind of fucked me up a little bit. But yeah, a little bit. What's up?
Well, I don't know if you saw it. It was all over Twitter. Gordon Hayward, plays for the Celtics.
Yeah, I saw
Land,
the picture.
yeah. His fucking legs pointing, his foot's pointing the wrong direction. But going back to last week, I maybe it's a too soon kind of thing, but I put a joke up above the picture, on Twitter saying, what did I say? I said, Nevada State Athletic Commission says he's in excellent physical condition because
Yeah,
that's what they said about Kevin Lee.
Kevin Lee. Yeah.
And because news came out today, his blood pressure readings from the weigh-ins were fucking terrible. Like, deathly, like, I think
Wasn't
they
it
were.
like 152? I saw some number 152.
It was something awful, like just terrible. Like, there's no way that he should have been like. As soon as I saw that, they should have been like, he's done, he's off the card. Like, sorry. And then on top of that, you have the staph. That's not even counting the staph infection. We're just talking about a shitty weight cut, So he's got that horrible weight cut that's got his blood pressure jumping through the fucking roof. And then he's got staph on top of that. Man, it's like, I don't know. Nevada State Athletic Commission just looks bad here. That's all there is to it.
Yeah, they haven't been doing very good as of late. What's up with the pay-per-view numbers too, man, for the UFC?
Damn, son, like 100,000 buys? Are you kidding me? That's crazy. And that's 2 events in a row, by the way.
That's still better than boxing, though.
Not really, though. Is it?
I think so. I think that's still better than boxing. Like the level of stars that they put out on the pay-per-view.
Triple G, Canelo did like 1.5 or something.
But Triple G and Canelo, they're pretty big stars, though. Who would you compare them to in the UFC?
Canelo is a big star. Triple
Yeah.
G is honestly not outside of combat fan sports circles. Like I would say Canelo is like Mighty Mouse.
You think so? He's the Mighty Mouse?
He's super talented. Everybody knows he's fucking good. Like all the people in the know, like fight fans know he's the shit, but he has no draw power whatsoever. Nobody like no casuals care. They're not going to pay him to fight. But he doesn't look at his pay-per-view numbers before the Canelo fight. They're like Mighty Mouse level terrible.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And then you got Canelo would be like Conor McGregor, I guess. He's just got that hype. He's got.
But he's not even doing Conor numbers though, is he? Canelo?
He's close to it, yeah.
Oh,
I mean, he was fighting Marquez on what was that? Mexico Cinco de Mayo. And that was like not even an even fight. Like everybody knew like Marquez was like super wasn't going to win the fight basically. It was set up so Canelo would win. And that still did 1 million pay-per-view buys. And everybody knew Canelo was going to win the fight. It wasn't even like a good matchup,
Well, it helps to have your nation behind you.
True. That's what I'm saying. Like he has Mexico. That's why I compare it to Conor because he has Ireland and like.
But I think even with Conor, he has like, because I think in Ireland they don't pay pay-per-views, do they?
No. I'm just saying support-wise.
Oh, okay.
I mean, obviously, he's huge in the United States. I mean, I have friends out here in California that claim they're Irish now and fucking think that.
And they're black.
Nah. All my black friends are big Mayweather fans. That's for damn sure.
Yeah.
But just white boys thinking that they're Irish all of a sudden because Conor McGregor's out here running his mouth.
Yo, I went to the road show a couple of shows ago, and there was a Korean dude dressed head to toe in a Conor McGregor fight kit at the road event. I was
Those
like,
are so
this
ugly,
motherfucker.
dude. Those are so ugly.
I was like, you're at a road event, number one. This is not the UFC. And you're wearing Conor McGregor. If you're gonna wear a fight kit, you better represent your country and shit at least. Come on, man. Like, why you wearing the Conor McGregor
I'm
one?
representing Cali, right? This is I don't know if you can see it. Well, this is
Yeah.
Nick Diaz's walkout shirt from. Can you see that?
Strike Force?
No. This is still UFC. I think this is versus GSP.
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah,
I might
Metal
be wrong.
Militia, everybody knows that one.
Yeah, because they used to be big partners with Metal Militia before Reebok took over. It was the Diaz brothers and Metal Militia. Um, and actually, that whole scrap pack was on Metal Militia, like Gilbert Melendez and all them. And this is a dope. Like, I'm not trying to like stun or anything, but it's a dope shirt, you know. And now they got fucking Reebok, and it's just like it just looks like, you know, cookie cutter like name down the side and like whatever country color. Like I think rare would be green, obviously, and then like Poland would be red. And they're so boring.
It
God, they're so
it's
boring.
kind of like like when you play in like those like community like leagues and you go make uniforms for your teams and
Yeah,
shit. It kind of looks like that. Like to me, I think the UFC, it doesn't take much to personalize the uniforms a little bit more. So when the fighters get their uniforms, it looks like it's their fight, their
yeah,
own fight kit instead of just fucking just, changing a couple colors and writing their name on there and, the disaster of the name writing too. Like they spelled that shit
yeah.
wrong.
So many. Well, it was like when they made this deal, when they announced this deal, they were like, we want to be like the other sport leagues, right? Okay, but now you got the NBA is putting fucking advertisements on their jerseys. So it's like they're like they're trying to be like the big sports, but the big sports are moving in that direction as well, where they're putting advertisers on the uniforms.
Yeah,
And
like soccer, right?
yeah, like soccer, exactly. And the NBA, the fucking teams have like 6 different jerseys they wear throughout the year. They have
Yeah.
like their home and away, and then they have like 2 or 3 alternates, and then they have like a Christmas special, a St. Patrick's special. They have all these holiday special edition jerseys. You know, even the NFL has Color Rush. I don't know if you watch NFL at all, but Color Rush,
Oh, I love NFL.
which is like crazy. I saw you wearing a Seahawks hat last time,
Yeah.
so I'm assuming you're a Seahawks fan. The Seahawks have the dopest jerseys of any NFL team. Like I'll go on record saying that. I'm a Giants fan, but I think the Seahawks have the dopest jerseys out
Fuck, I
there.
feel bad for you this year, man.
Yeah, we got fucked really bad. Well, whatever. I mean, we'll be back. Um, but yeah, everybody's got like cool designs, you know, like stuff like fans want to fucking buy. Nobody wants to fucking buy that shit. You got creeps out there in Korea or whatever wearing full on Conor McGregor, and that's probably the only person you've ever seen wearing a fight kit. I've never
That's
seen
true.
anybody wearing a fight kit ever,
That's
and I
true.
go to events all the time, and I still don't see anybody wearing them.
You don't even see the fighters wearing them
Like, right?
unless they're fighting, right?
No, not at all. Like they're just gonna wear them around, you know? Because they're so ugly and just like, why? Why? Reebok's not paying them either,
Hey,
you know?
imagine like you're a fighter and you wore your fight kit, like just your shirt, and says your name and shit on there, and someone comes up to you and he's like, "Man, why you wearing that motherfucker's shirt?" Like he don't even know it's you and shit.
I couldn't wear something with my name on it. I would just, I feel, and I think fighters feel the same way, where they don't want to wear stuff that's like, you know, they don't want to wear jerseys around basically with their name on it.
Did you ever hear that joke about like jerseys and like men wearing other like pro athletes jerseys with their name on it? And he says that if you're a man, if you're a full grown man, and if you're wearing like a jersey of another man's name, that means he gets to fuck you.
Who said that? That sounds like some Dave Chappelle shit.
For real, like I heard this a long time. I forgot where I heard this shit. That shit like made me laugh for like 10 minutes. I was like, it's true. Like I don't have no jerseys at all. Like I'll like only team I rock is the Seahawks. I have
Yeah.
no oh yeah, I have like a old like Seattle's like Mariners hat.
Supersonics?
But other than that, I don't really wear stuff of
No
people.
Supersonics? Damn.
Nah, man, I don't fuck with
How
that.
you gonna, how you gonna diss on the Supersonics were the shit back in the day?
They were, but it's hard to find what I like. Like some of the stuff is just too ugly for me to wear.
It was
But then
their jerseys were super like 80s style for sure.
I had it when I was young. I had the
Really?
old school jersey when I was young. It's just now I'm a grown ass man, and I don't really fuck with it. But you know, like going back to like the UFC stuff, I don't
Cyborg.
know, man. Like UFC's in this huge transitional period, man. Like with the jersey, like with the clothing, apparel deal it should be running out soon, isn't
It
it?
should be that and the TV deal should be up around the same time.
And that's man. I tell you about like the theory that was going around about what the Fertitas did to sell the UFC?
What they were gonna try to buy it back.
No, no, no. Well, what they did was they did the Reebok deal, which was not a very good deal, but the reason why they made that deal is to like make it look like a more legit sport to the buyers,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then bring in USADA, which they really didn't want to do. But if you bring in USADA, that also legitimizes the sport, or not even the sport. It legitimizes the UFC to look like it's a clean, competition and all that shit, and that makes it look better for the buyer when they kind of come in and I guess vet the purchase that they're going to
Like
make.
if you had like if you were gonna make UFC great again, I guess, and maybe use someone like Scott Coker, who's been known to like come in and like change things and like build stuff up. I feel like Scott would come in and tell USADA to fuck off
Yeah,
and get rid of this Reebok deal and like restore goodwill with the fighters basically and get back on good terms with them and stop leaking all these top 10 guys to different organizations, trying to start signing some of these guys actually from different organizations instead of losing them, and then also fix the weight classes so that they actually make sense, so there's not these jumps from
yeah, they
155, 170, 185, 205.
they do need to put in the 165, 175, and 195. I think that's what they should
I
change it to.
agree.
They should just make it 10 pounds. And even
I think
that is a lot, but it's better than what they have right now.
I think the 195 might be. Well, I know I talked to Jordan Young, who's going to be fighting on the Bellator card this weekend, and he was like all aboard the 195 train, and he's actually going to be fighting at a catchweight of 195 on a Friday, so that'll be interesting. But I don't know, that gets to be like I'm totally on board with the 165, the 175, 185 is already there. Um, but then it's like if you're gonna do 195 and have 205 as well, I mean you're really pushing it with just the total number of weight classes.
Yeah,
It's a lot.
there's a
That's a
lot.
lot of weight classes.
Yeah, there's a lot. I I think they should bring in nah. I think that's even fucking worse. Like I like how Asia's doing it. They don't have a heavyweight. They just have an open weight. So you don't have to weigh in. You just go
Yeah.
to the weigh-ins and just fucking flex, and then you go fight. There's no
Well, what's the point of having someone like Derek Lewis cut down to 265?
exactly.
Like I don't understand that. Just let
Me
him
either.
fight at like whatever he's at 300 or whatever.
Yeah, long as you're over 205, you can fight in heavyweight. Like what's the point of having that 265? Let Brock Lesnar come back 300 pounds and see what he can do. You
Uh,
know, hey, talking about USADA, let's talk about Cyborg and Holly Holm. Now,
yes.
that whole fucking deal of Cyborg comes out, she's saying like I've been tested, I don't know, she said 22 times or some shit like that by USADA, and she's been popped once. Holly
Well,
Holmes been tested 23 times and has never been popped.
so this all started on Twitter, am I right?
Yeah,
And I mean, the people in the know in the MMA world know that whoever runs Cyborg's Twitter is a fucking idiot. It says stupid shit all the time and is always making her look bad. And I feel like this started probably with her manager or boyfriend or whoever's running her account
mm.
saying this. And then it just got crazier and crazier because you got Holly Holm got involved and did like this kind of like psycho video where she's like kind of almost like whispering. She was almost like whispering into the camera, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I had to like turn up the volume. I was like, I started the video and I couldn't hear anything, and I had to like jack up my speakers to full blast to hear what she was saying, because she's speaking so softly.
Yeah.
Um, and then she gave that whole like passive aggressive kind of like, I don't expect applause or whatever when I pass the test, which was like a good line, honestly. Um, and then Cyborg responded as well, which made her look even worse. I don't know. What's your opinion on the thing? Because I just think it makes Cyborg look bad.
Yeah, it does make Cyborg look bad. Cyborg has too many handlers. She has too many people around her. Like you got Tito. I don't know if he's a coach or he's a manager or he's both. You got another manager. I forgot his fucking name. And you got her boyfriend, Ray Elby. He's supposed to be like her manager, handler, mid holder, a grappler, sparring partner, whatever he is, right?
Mm-hmm.
And who's doing what? Who knows? You know what I mean? Like they're all fucking it up for Cyborg because if Cyborg just because she's fucking doing MMA imports, fucking reposting everything from there, and she's she's got.
I think she quit MMA imports and now she's retweeting or posting BJ Penn, right?
Something. It's just she
Which
needs
is
to.
slightly better, I guess. Only
Yeah, I
slightly.
understand trying to make money, by doing things, but if it's fucking up your brand, hey, your brand, it's your brand. Like Cyborg is a brand. She's fucking like one of the best fighters ever. You
Yeah.
cannot let these little fucking social media things fuck you up because people are gonna remember that. You know what I mean? Like people remember everything. Fucking Ronda Rousey came and blasted her for shit that she did years and years ago, right? And saying like, I'm not gonna fight her because fucking 10 years ago she did this or whatever, what happened. And Cyborg, man, this is only making her look worse. UFC doesn't seem like they want to keep her, right?
No.
And they're
No.
lowballing her to fight Holly Holmes. And I legit believe Holly Holmes has a chance of beating Cyborg.
Man.
I do.
Really?
I do. I do.
How?
I do.
We're
I,
talking about
I think Cyborg is probably the best fighter ever, but Holly Holm is a type of fighter. She's kind of built to beat a Cyborg.
we're talking about the same Holly Holm that lost like 3 fights in a row or whatever just
Yeah,
recently,
yeah.
right?
It's the same one, but I believe that it could happen, right? But most
Yeah, it
likely
could happen.
it's not gonna happen, right? It's not gonna happen. But I believe if the odds was like 10-1, I would put money on Holly Holm just to throw some shit on there,
Well,
right?
I love crazy bet. I always do crazy bets like that, and it tends to work out more in Bellator than UFC because I don't know. There's been some insane. I think like Koreshkov, a couple other guys were just like crazy like favorites or underdogs. And I've
Oh
definitely
yeah,
taken advantage of that.
he got knocked out, huh?
Yeah, I've taken advantage of some of these because it's like if you bet like 5 of them and one of them pans out, you're still coming out way on the positive.
Yeah, yeah.
So this is some crazy. So speaking of odds, uh, Shlemenko is going to be. I assume once all the right now he's like a plus 285. I think he's going to be a 3-1 underdog versus Musasi by the time the fight rolls around on the Bellator 185 card that's coming up on Friday. And I might be putting some money down on that. Not that I'm discrediting Musasi at all, because obviously Musasi might be the best talent that Bellator has acquired yet, besides Rory, and he could win in multiple divisions. But Shlemenko's a beast, and he definitely has a chance. So if it gets to that point, I think it's gonna be fireworks. I think that main event is gonna be fireworks, and good thing because the rest of that card has blown up.
It's
They don't have much
garbage.
of a card.
Garbage, like Denzel Washington in Trading Day. Garbage, right?
It was like fight after fight was just like getting canceled, and like it started out great, and now it's not
Yeah,
good.
when the main card has like a fighter that's 1-0 versus like someone that's debuting, that's kind of a problem,
Yeah.
right? But I say Musasi taps. What is it? Shlemenko. Yeah.
Shlemenko, yeah.
I see Musasi tapping him. Like I see
I
him
can see
hurting him
that.
on the feet. Musasi's a little bit more slicker. On the feet, he's gonna be able to tat him up real quick, hurt him, and then get him on
Shlemenko's
the ground.
more Shlemenko's more creative on the feet though. And I feel like honestly, I feel like their skill sets are very similar in a way. But yeah, I think that would be the way that the fight would most likely play out because Musasi's wrestling is very underrated, and then his ground game is as well,
Yeah, he showed it against Weidman.
for sure.
Yeah, his wrestling game is underrated, and Shlemenko, he's just too stiff for Musasi. Musasi flows with it. Shlemenko's like just too stiff. He does have good
Are you talking
diverse
about the
striking.
grappling department,
Huh?
or I think his striking is smooth. I wouldn't call it stiff at all.
No, I from what I've seen, I think it's stiff. Like this is what
Really?
my eyes tell me. Maybe my eyes are lying, but I think he's compared to Musasi. He's like the fucking robot man.
I get. I don't know. I think his striking is smooth. Maybe it's just that Russian coldness to it makes it look a little bit more robotic. But
Maybe I'll be watching that shit though for real. Like it's a fight that I'm interested to see what happens because whenever a fighter like Musasi comes from the UFC into Bellator and faces, somebody that has not been fighting in the UFC, it's interesting to see how they fare. It's just like when Rory fought for the first time.
yeah,
It was like
he did get a
huge.
good. He got a good stylistic matchup for himself in that one.
Yeah,
But these UFC guys have kind of been getting fucked up.
they
To
are. Larkin just been getting murked by all the fucking
the
Bellator guys.
welterweights. Yeah.
But
So that
Larkin, he's good, but he was never like a top. Like he was never like let's say like a Rory McDonald level. He was never like a Musasi level.
no,
I don't
but
think.
he was legit top 10.
Oh, he was legit top 10, but he wasn't like at that where his game was so complete to
No,
come in.
definitely just we're talking pure striker,
Yeah,
sure. And then Lima just dismantled him, and then Daly. That was kind of more of a back and forth fight, but he got his ass handed to him at the end of that one. But he has wins. I mean, he had wins over Jorge Masvidal and Neil Magny before he went out of the UFC on a 2-fight win streak. Over Jorge Masvidal and Neil Magny, who are both doing things right now in UFC welterweight division.
yeah,
So
yeah.
it's not
That
like
Corey Masvidal, that was a huge win.
it's not like he went out, on a skid or something.
That's true. Musasi also, Musasi. Did you hear what Musasi said, like in his interview about the UFC? I didn't really catch that. Did you catch any of that? He
Where
was,
was the interview?
I don't know, but he was taking a big ass dump on like
Really?
the UFC.
I
Just a
gotta
big
hear
shitty
that.
one. I don't know
Was
what
he
he was
just
saying.
complaining about the lowballing or
And treatment and all that. Basically, a lot of the stuff that the other fighters,
I've already
like
said?
even Rory McDonald was saying, he's probably parroting a lot of that, right, in his interview. Um,
Yeah,
But I like Musasi. I've always liked Musasi. He's like a veteran, but it doesn't even seem like he's a veteran.
they're both veteran. They both have a ton of fights. Um, what someone brought up to me recently was like, okay, they signed Musasi, right? Why is he fighting on an Indian reservation in Uncasville, Connecticut?
Yeah.
And I didn't have an answer. I was like, I don't know.
Why isn't he fighting in Europe?
Yeah, and it's not like Bellator doesn't go over to Europe all the time too,
Yeah, they're going over to Italy quite
Yeah,
often. It seems like Italy is like one of their main spots in Europe that they go to. So maybe telling you could go over there, take a little trip to the land
the
and see
homeland,
what's up.
the homeland.
Yeah, the homeland, and pay your respects and catch a little Bellator show. But I
They
think
got they got lakes named after me over there.
but hey, you better go, show them like who's the boss.
Yeah, we might be expanding into Italy for sure. We've been talking to some Italian MMA fans, writers. So
Actually, I know one guy who is in Italy who does write MMA. He has his own, I think, spot. So let me see who I
maybe
know
it's
somebody. Huh?
maybe it's the same guy. I don't know, but
I
we're
think his name is
definitely
Francisco or something like that.
MMA Today has been looking into partnering with some Italian guys. Gonna be doing English and Italian articles in English and Italian.
For
So
sure, man. You gotta expand. Expanding is important.
speaking of Italy, they had that Venator welterweight tournament,
Yeah,
and Cody McKenzie, former UFC fighter Cody McKenzie, got his ass handed to him by some Italian dude. Uh, but yeah, that was on pay per view, so I didn't watch the whole card. Just saw clips and stuff. But that's kind of interesting. Venator has been kind of hit or miss, but they have had some decent fights on there.
well, the I think doing your own pay-per-view is not gonna benefit you. You gotta partner up with somebody. I
It's like
think
the new
Fight TV is
trend.
doing a good job.
Yeah.
Were they on Fight TV?
No, they were. It was through some third party,
Yeah.
someone I've never heard of
They
before.
need to partner up with somebody that already is somewhat established and has events from other places around the world that they can
Like Fight TV.
advertise. Because once people go to like watch an event like on Fight TV, if you scroll down, you kind of see like what's coming up and like it kind of catches your eye. So you could maybe if you're interested, you'll click and buy that shit. But
I just think these guys, they put their pricing. Okay, Venator, they had it at $14.99 US dollars, I think. That's too much.
yeah,
Rizin had it at $20 US dollars too.
too much.
And I think that's too much. Like when we're talking about lower, like, organizations that aren't, major organizations, and like these pay-per-views, you should be having, it should be like a convenient price. It should be like something like, I'm trying to think of a good, like Netflix is like $9.99 a month, you know.
Like Fight Pass.
Yeah, Fight Pass 9.99, like something like 9.99. Like, okay, I can get on board with that. But you want to charge me like $20,
For an 8-hour event.
It's like I just can't do it. It's
And then
hard.
I don't know, man. Like that 8-hour event shit was like too much, man. I don't see. I see people buying it, but I see people watching it and then just falling off after a while, like most people did.
Fuck, I drank coffee. Like I was doing everything. And I was like making gifts too to like keep me like occupied in the
And it
meantime,
just didn't.
intermissions. And I don't know what happened. Like that second intermission hit, and I woke up like 8 o'clock in the morning. My girlfriend's getting ready for work, and I'm like, fuck. I saw like the little Fight TV like promo in the back on my computer still running, like the music and everything.
Fucked up, man. Like it's yeah, the pricing they do need to like make it more affordable to the people. And I think if you make it more affordable, more people will buy it.
Yeah, more people will buy it, and that'll offset the lower cost. So I don't know.
Now before we bounce, let's talk about UFC Fight Night in 118, which is in Poland,
Gdansk, Poland.
Gdansk. Right?
I really don't know if that's how you pronounce it, but I'm gonna say it like that.
Well, I don't know either. That's the first time I heard anybody say that word. I just seen it like written out. So I'm
I
gonna
hope
go
the
with
G's
Gdansk
not silent. The G might be silent. It might just be Dansk.
or Dansk. Okay, so we'll just
I
go Dansk.
I don't know.
Um,
UFC Poland. We'll call it Poland. We'll just
yeah,
call it.
UFC Poland, UFC Poland. It's weird that they don't have a Polish person or fighter in the main event of this.
Yeah, I mean, Till is UK, which I mean, from what I'm gathering from a lot of my UK friend MMA fans, is that a lot of people are going to be going to this
Hmm.
from the UK. So at least they got a UK guy in the main event. I think that was big for them. I think Carolina versus a better opponent should have been main event, but
Yeah.
not versus her current opponent. I don't think that's worthy of a main event as it stands right now.
Yeah, I don't understand why they made that Andrade versus Gadelia in Japan when they could have made Carolina versus Andrade as a main event in Poland or something like that, like a better matchup, top
Yeah.
contenders.
Well,
But
sell Carolina. Like, come on, like sell her.
yeah, because she's a bad motherfucker, right? Like she put
She
it down.
is. She
But her
is.
last fight, she was undefeated, and she's lost 2 in a row.
Yeah, but we're talking about 2 in a row. It's the best, in
Yeah,
my opinion, the best in the division. The two
yeah.
best in the division.
What
Well, I
was
don't
it?
know if you can say that anymore, but at the
Both of
time,
those are fighting. Both of them are fighting each other, right? It's what's her name? Rose Namajunas and
no. She lost to Claudia.
oh, she did.
Yeah, it was Claudia that
Oh
she
yeah, it
lost.
was Claudia. Yeah, I'm mixing it up. But
Who
yeah,
before the Andrade fight, I thought was the second best. I thought was for sure the second best fighter in the division, but clearly Andrade is in place now.
um, what is it? Joanna, she's basically cleaned out the division. She's beaten everybody, and
Basically, she definitely has.
she just needs to beat Namajunas, and then she can move up to 125
Yeah,
and right out to the sunset, and we could get the fight that we want.
okay, but if we're being real, I did have Gadelia beating her the first time that they fought.
But that wasn't for the title, though.
No, it wasn't. No. The second fight was also very close. I think I just barely gave it to Joanna.
Yeah.
So, I mean, hopefully, maybe we see that at 125 in the future. I think they're both, well, at least, I don't know about, I don't think, I wouldn't call Joanna a natural 125er, but I would say Claudia is.
Yeah, Claudia seems bigger. Andrade, she seems much bigger because Andrade was at bantamweight, right?
Yeah, Andrade just fought kind of all over the place. I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
so even her moving up and going to flyweight would be all right. Now who do you have here? Versus what is it? Donald Cerrone versus Darren Till. Darren Till's undefeated.
Darren Till's an excellent prospect. He's super young, and he has very good grappling inside of the clinch, which is something Cerrone likes to use a lot.
Mhm.
And he's got a lot of stuff going for him. You know, he's just how old is he? 24 years old. He's got the height. He's got the reach. You know, he's a nice size for 170. And honestly, Cerrone's kind of on the smaller side for 170. And I don't know, but then I could say all that, but then it's still Donald Cerrone versus Darren Till. So
Exactly.
I mean, but you also have to take into account Cerrone's last 2 fights. He got he got brain cells were definitely damaged in both those fights for sure.
Yeah.
Like Lawler fucked him up and almost finished him, and then Cerrone came back in the next 2 rounds and actually did pretty well. And then he got knocked out twice versus Masvidal. Twice he got knocked out at the end of the first round. Fight should have been called. And Greg Jackson didn't give a shit that his fighter was out here, obviously clearly hurt, and then came out for the second round and got knocked out again. So we're talking about a guy that clearly and he hasn't taken off that much time since the Lawler fight. So I don't know. That can catch up to him.
This is a toss up, but who would you go with though if you're a betting man?
Well, see, that's the thing though. That's the thing about betting is if we're talking about straight up betting, then yeah, I would take Cerrone. But Darren Till at plus 200, I'm gonna take Darren Till at 2-1 odds for sure. Why not?
Yeah, I'll like straight up fight. I'll probably go with the veteran and
Yeah, of course.
Donald Cerrone straight up fight. But you never know. Darren Till this could be his coming out party. You know what I mean? Like
He's
he
got
could come out and just smash Cerrone and put him. And next thing you know, Cerrone's at Bellator.
and this is a guy who could definitely do it. I mean, he's got incredible timing, and his punches are just super precise. Like it's a bad combo for Cerrone because that's what Masvidal did versus him, and he struggles versus southpaws. He's always struggled versus southpaws. So there's a lot of things trending in the direction of Darren Till, but once again, it's fucking Donald Cerrone. So
Well, if Darren Till does win, I think he grinds it out. He grinds Donald Cerrone down, and probably gets that decision. But I think Cerrone's gonna come out, guns a blazing, because he's already lost 2 in a row, like you said, and he's kind of, he's dangerous when he's lost. You know what I mean? When he comes back from a loss, so we'll see what happens with him.
Yeah, I think, and I really like that. Besides the main event, the UFC did a good job of getting the Polish fighters on here. You have Jan Blachowicz, you have Oscar. I'm gonna mess his name up. Pachota, Marcin Held, obviously, who's had some horrible luck in the UFC.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna. I can't pronounce the other guys. Well, I can pronounce Damian Stazak. They did a really good job of getting a lot of Polish fighters on here.
Yeah, they did. There's a matchup right here, interesting, in the featherweight, division, is Conor McGregor Jr. versus Andre Fili.
Conor McGregor Jr. versus Cody Garbrandt.
The junior.
Junior, yeah,
Yes.
even though he's bigger, but yeah, training partner battle. I I don't know. I can't get. I don't have anything good to say about either of these guys. So.
I know. Look at Lubov's record. He's 14-13.
Yeah, my mama said not to say anything. If you're not gonna say anything nice, so
Man, Lubov, man, like he's a guy that has had a weird career.
Fuck yeah, he has. I took some fire on Twitter, and because Lobov posted this dumbass picture of him with some giant fucking machine gun, and it's like the UFC just got done raising awareness and raising money for the Las Vegas shooting victims.
Mm-hmm.
And you got this motherfucker out here with some giant machine gun with straps of bullets around his neck and shit. And I'm like, what great picture, basically. And people are attacking me, and it's I'm pro gun, people. I own I'm a standard American. I have a whole arsenal in my house. I'm the Punisher. I got that closet just full of weapons and shit. But come on, it just looks bad. It looks horrible. They just did this whole thing trying to raise money for these shooting victims, and you got a dude out here posing to take pictures with this giant fucking machine gun. You can't tell me that that's not a bad look.
Well, he's not the smartest guy. He's not the sharpest tool in the shed.
He's not the sharpest hammer in the shed.
Exactly.
See what I did there?
Yeah. He's not the nailless nail in the toolbox. Right? Andre Fili too, he's been getting fucked up too, you know what I mean? So it's like whoever loses is gonna get cut.
I hope so, honestly. God, neither of these guys should be in the UFC. Let's be real.
You know who else is a good fighter that's on this card, but they're deep buried in this motherfucker, is Wally Alves.
I was just about to say, I was just about to say that name.
You don't like him?
No, I was just about to say, when you started off saying that, I was like, he's about to say Wally Alves.
Yeah, I like him. I think he's young. He has a good style. He's had some hiccups and injuries, but he's a guy that could, if he puts it together, be fucking dangerous at welterweight.
This is the guy who in under a minute and 30 seconds choked out the very annoying Colby Covington.
I know, that's the thing. Colby Covington, man, he's a guy he could be the fucking worse than GSP. Just fucking goes in there and just lays on motherfuckers all day. You can't stop it. He's basically another Ben Askren.
God, get him out to TriStar and just fucking, I don't know.
But yeah, man, like this weekend's gonna be weird. I don't like. There's two events. There's Bellator, big events, supposedly. From the top promotions. There's Bellator, there's UFC, and yeah, I think I'm just gonna pick and choose. I might not even watch these events live, to be honest with you. It all depends, like where I'm at. But
Well,
I'll
what's your
definitely watch the Musasi fight and the Cerrone fight. I'll watch that because I'm interested to see where Darren Till is at in his career right now.
KK? You can't miss the KK fight.
The KK? Oh yeah, for sure.
Well,
Yeah, that one.
the other question I was going to ask you was, when UFC did their UFC Japan and it went up against Bellator 183.
Yeah.
Bellator 183 actually did better, like had more viewers in the US than the UFC Japan card did. And obviously this Bellator card is not, there's no depth to it at all, but you have that Musasi name on the main event, and then I think that this card, the UFC Gdansk, is shown on it's okay, it's Fox Sports 1.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe it will destroy in the ratings, but I'm just wondering to see how they match up ratings wise over the weekend.
Yeah, I'm interested too because Bellator has been beating the UFC in like free fights, I guess.
Yeah.
But you gotta think Japan was on FX triple XXXX.
It was just 2 X's.
I don't know. Well.
But yeah,
it was hard to find. It wasn't on Fox Sports 1. Like
no, all those channels are not exactly. I mean, if you're a UFC fan, I don't buy the excuse that you didn't know it was on or you couldn't find the channel, because actually that FXX or whatever is actually in more. It's like in like 80% of like American households.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's not like a obscure. It's not like nobody has it. It's like everybody still has that channel. They might just have to look for it a little bit. But
when I lived in the States, I watched FX more than I watched Fox. Because FX had the better shows.
It's Always Sunny.
Yeah, I had it overall. Like this was when like The Shield was out.
Oh, and The Shield.
Yeah, that was a long time ago, right? The Shield debuted, and
God.
That's when FX first started, and that's when they were pumping out all those great shows. So I was watching FX all the time because they could curse on there. You know, The Shield would have some funky shit going down.
I don't know how The Shield got away with half of the stuff they did because at least on American cable TV, like you can't really get away with a whole lot, and they were getting away with everything. Like that show was super graphic. Like they were cussing up storms. Like I don't know how they did it, man.
One of the best, if you're listening, if you're watching, one of the best cop shows ever that start from season 1, The Shield.
Well, I would compare it to like a long form version of Training Day, because Training Day was like about corrupt cops, right? Yeah. And like we're talking about corrupt cops, but following them over the course of their entire careers instead of Training Day was just like a couple days, you know?
Yeah.
And like now we're talking about like a crooked cop's like whole career, his whole crew of crooked cops, and like how they deal with like the system and everything. It was fucking insane.
Awesome, man.
Way ahead of its time.
For sure. Hey, I gotta bounce, but hey, you can fuck with me on Twitter at JHKMMA. I do all the shit, the Asia shit. So anything basically you see on the site that is in Asia or deals with Asia, I'm pretty much doing that. Kumite Radio, the podcast, you can fuck with it on everything, iTunes, Stitcher, all that, and eventually we're gonna have this shit on iTunes and Stitcher, but right now we'll just have it on YouTube and probably on Facebook. My partner in crime over here on this side is Big Tone at Big Tone MMA. Yeah, I think you're on this side. I don't know if you're on that side. Whatever side it is.
I'll do both. Just in case.
But yeah, man.
MMA. Follow us on Facebook, MMA Today News. Follow us on Twitter, MMA Today News. Our website, MMA-today.com. Check it out. We got the Asian senior writer right here covering everything Asia. And we have, we're covering everything around the globe, like Europe, fucking anything.
Yeah,
Russia.
fuck with MMA King. He's the one who puts out all the fucking
breaking news,
matchups. Fuck with MMA Wizard. He's putting out a lot of shit too.
Prospect breakdowns. Welcome to the UFC is a great series that he's been doing. So some of these fighters that you see on the UFC cards that you might not know shit about, and you're like, who is this guy? Well, we got Welcome to the UFC that's going to tell you all about them. A few of the fighters on this upcoming Friday card are going to be on there as well. So definitely check that out under the prospects section.
For real, MMAtoday.com. We're going to keep doing this shit. The ship is just embarking into the MMA ocean. All right, man. I'll see you, man.
All right. Have a good night
Yeah.
or day.
Yeah.